What is it now?
I've got a splinter in my finger.
It's tiny. Ridiculous. You never had a father. Look, just hold still. There, look, there we are. There we are. There. There we are. What?
For our old friends, the Lumiere brothers, Harry...
The usual thing was to show a selection of your work over the years, including your current big success.
Postmark Tarnock-Bray.
Point is, where do we go from here?
Yeah, where? Right, tell us, Doctor.
Our course is plain. We must attack Zaroff. He has gone mad, and is bent on destroying the whole world.
I'm shattered. I'm honoured.
So it's totally appropriate for the middle of the night. And basically what he seems to do is to take a paper article and then write a poem about it. And there was an article in The Sun about Doctor Who. And this is very typical of his sort of poem. It's called The Demise of Doctor Who. I've got a poem for you, matey, and what I've got to say is weighty. What is this bad world coming to? The actor known as Doctor Who, so elegant and sharp and natty, swelled up into a massive fatty. The man who saved the world alone was felled by 15.5 stone. The man the Daleks couldn't fight was beaten by his appetite. But wait, there's help. Dun, 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 dun. Don't worry, folks, here comes the Sun. The paper we can understand. And now they've taken him in hand. In 4 weeks, he's lost 14 pounds. The Time Lord that was lost is found. But still the prospect's pretty black. 8 months ago, he got the sack. Well, that's the sort of poetry we can expect in the middle of the night. Now, I'm sure Charles is watching at the moment because he...
Doctor Who know it to be as essential a part of a winter's Saturday as coming in cold from heath, forest or football. Warm crumpets, or pikelets if preferred, before the fire. His signature tune of Sports Special, and that sense of liberation and escapist surrender which can only come when tomorrow is a day off too. These conditions cannot be created on Mondays or Tuesdays. Saturdays will be smitten by the destruction of an essential ingredient, and Doctor Who will be destroyed by this violent wrenching from its natural context.
I have tried to suggest some of the ways that broadcasting has brought together the public world and the
private car. You dine on chicken and caviar, an actor's life for me.
Don't I know who you are?
Well, you might do, yes, because I'm 3 people, really. Sylvester McCoy, Doctor Who, and at the moment, the Pied Piper, appearing here at the National Theatre.
Oh, the National?
Yes, got 3 theatres inside there. There's the Olivier, which is a big, wide open space stage. And then it's got the Littleton, which is a traditional stage, you know, with a cross arch, little picture window, smile please. And then further down there is the Cottesloe, the studio. And there's about, in this whole place, old building, about 600 staff work here backstage. And at any one time, a permanent company of actors, about 100. So you've got the paint shop, carpentry shop, next door, chip shop.
I suppose you have to be an all-rounder.
Nowadays, definitely, if you're going to be an actor on the stage, you need to be able to sing, dance, do the lot.
Such a patch from the patch in my patch, but the patch doesn't match. The patch is in my patchwork, so I catch another patch from the patch in my satchel. This one matches the patches in my patchwork, so I take my patch and attach it with stitches. Patch against patch when the patchwork matches. But if it doesn't match, even after it's attached, then the mismatched stitch has to be detached. Yeah! Like a silver ribbon. But don't look down or your head will turn around.
Don't look down or your head will turn around. What do we do when we reach the did you become an actor?
What happened was I was working in the box office at the Roundhouse, and a director was setting up the Ken Campbell Roadshow, and someone had let him down at the last minute, and he met another actor, Brian Murphy, and he said to him, I'm looking for a young actor, I'm setting up this mad show. And Brian said, well, ask the guy in the box office, he's completely out of his head. So he came up to me and he said, do you want to be an actor? I said, yeah, and I became an actor. It's not always like that.
Do you ever get nervous before you go on?
Nervous, me? Yes, lots. 5 minutes before you wish you were sweeping up sawdust at Woolworths or something like that. But then once you get on there, it changes and it's really wonderful. You start flying.
I suppose it's hard to learn a whole play.
It is hard, yes. It's very hard work, but we have, if we're lucky, we have 6 weeks rehearsals at the National, but other places it's 3. And at the BBC, they don't give you any rehearsal. Quick, there it is, do it.
Is it particularly exciting being on stage here at the National?
Well, if you would like to find out how exciting it is standing centre stage, why don't you try it? Good luck. I'm off.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, I love you.
What's the difference between acting on stage and acting on television?
On the stage, you've got to reach the back of the building. Everyone must hear, and you've got to be bigger and put a lot of force into it. But on television, like, say, you're the camera, you're here, and I'm talking to Happy here. You're very close, so therefore the acting has got to be smaller, more internal. And also, in the theatre, you start at the beginning of the story, or the play, and you go all the way through to the end. But in television, it's very different. Would you like to find out?
Yeah.
Where have you been? Come on, get inside.
People have in the wee small hours of the creature men used to call the werewolf.
It is, of course, absolutely without foundation. The whole idea of a wolf man really is a rather ridiculous notion. Old wives' tale, perhaps, has been handed down since the Middle Ages. The very idea, the very concept that a normal, fairly normal humanoid might transform into a beast after dark is really altogether too silly for words. The very notion of anyone becoming suddenly thick with matted hair and developing fangs that could bite through the backbone of a bison is superstitious nonsense, and I think indeed I know that we can guarantee this audience here tonight total safety. I hope you find that reassuring.
We interrupt this programme to bring you a news flash.
Doctor Who. Recently, we met up with him at the National Theatre in London, where he was preparing for his role as the Pied Piper.
20 minutes, Mr. McCoy.
Hello. I've been made up for the Pied Piper at the National Theatre. Joyce is trying to get rid of my eyebrows. Rather than pluck them, there's another way of doing it, which is with a bit of soap. Put it on the soap on there, and then it dries, and then you can paint over it with foundation cream, as I'm going to do now. This is foundation cream. This is kind of an ivory. It's to give me a kind of a ghostly, mysterious look. We dab that all over like that. Face painting. What a canvas. Then you do that. Now, finish the foundation. Now Joyce will come in and do the real work. The work of art to turn me into the Pied Piper. Apart from being the Pied Piper, I also have a spoons number. I brought the spoons with me here. Which I play, because the Piper arrives in Hamelin, in this story anyway, as a kind of a tramp. And he earns a few bob, gets his crust by playing the spoons. Now, this makeup takes about 20 minutes to put on, but I once had a makeup that took 4 hours. We were filming about Scott in this Antarctic, and I had to lie there for 4 hours, and they put all this makeup on, suffering soporific sores and various other things that these poor chaps had died of from the cold, starvation. But they also had to put cream on as well, kind of icing for the whiteness. And when we were stuck in the tent, it started to melt a bit, so we used to had to wait a long time before they came and discovered us. So we kind of sit there licking this icing. It's rather nice. Ah, now. I think Joyce hasn't got a shaky hand, because there's a delicate bit round the eyeball. Might knock it out. Still, I'm sure there's lots of spare eyeballs in the makeup department. Nowadays, actors don't put on so much makeup, theatrical makeup, as they used to. It's mainly because of the lighting. The lighting's much more sophisticated, and they don't need to, except for perhaps character parts and things like that. I find it quite handy because I've got a kind of a rubbery face. It kind of moves around and does all sorts of bizarre things, and you can take on various different roles without too much makeup. I just noticed when I was doing that those two eyebrows look like two little rats. Can you see? A little tail. They're trying to get to each other. Hello there. Hello. My wife, who's a very beautiful lady, never wears makeup, whereas I do all the time. Bizarre. My sons do as well, my two boys. They're kind of like making up with them. I'm always finding them in my makeup box, having great fun. In the theatre, my eyes sparkle. And this is how you do it. You cheat, you stick these things on. And then they kind of, I can't quite see that. Yeah, then they disappear for a bit. And then when you blink, they go catch the light. People are quite amazed. And there was a red one, which was it here?
That's it, that's on.
If I change my hairstyle, it changes my face quite dramatically. I don't know. Does Rod Stewart look like that? Right, warm up the lips. Pick a pestilential parasite and put a little pepper on it. Bock it on the book bifid building on the bonnet. And blow me if you bother him, he probably feels riper for pestilential parasite. You better call the piper.
Ha ha ha.